Hello everyone. Nowadays, you got all these fucking guys on the internet making millions of dollars showing people how to do stuff. So I figured I'd try it for myself. So today we're going to show you how to change a power cord on any kind of anything pretty much that plugs into a regular outlet. I got a buddy of mine who gave me a nice guy to do this. Nice water machine. I don't know if it works yet, but he said it does. So, you know, he's a man of his word. I'm going to set the phone in an advantageous location where you can hopefully see everything that I'm doing with the machine here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our $6 power supply cord and we're going to get our ends ready to go. Hey, as long as you're not colorblind, you shouldn't have any issue here. You got a line, and a ground. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our mechanism here, get it out of the way as much as we can, maybe bend it a little bit. We're going to get all of our stuff in a situation where we've got some room to work. Okay, can I zoom in on here? Nope. I better get the phone a little bit closer here. Is we are going to take the end of our wires here in our Klein Tools wire stripper, and we're going to cut that off because that's the problem right there, like Morgan Wallen. I'm the problem. So now the problem is that we can't do anything with that crap, so we got to strip this stuff off of here. Wire stripper that's duller than my future here. Strip this baby clean and make sure she's ready for a solid connection. Strip maybe about 3/4 inch, maybe an inch off the end of there. You know, I like to, you know, put heat shrink on it anyway. I'll show you what that is in a minute. Don't worry. If any of these terms sound foreign to you, it's not foreign. You're just new. You know what I mean? So this is a common thing for people to forget this next step. So I want to make sure that you're listening nice and closely. So I'm going to go out of the view of the camera and I'm going to make sure that you're listening before I continue. Are you listening, or 3 minutes into this garbage? We're going to put our heat shrink over the wires first to get it out of your way. The idea of watching these videos is to learn from somebody else's experience, not waste your own time. The whole thing just falls apart because then your mental health goes out the window before you even get the power cord on, stereo in, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You know, and then all of a sudden your wife's pissed because you're not home in time and your kid goes to bed wondering where you are, and it's all because you forgot the friggin' heat shrink. Put it on first. Don't ask me how I know. They were pretty liberal on their power cord at Menards. And at this point in the process, we have about, I don't know, maybe about 120 seconds until we're going to begin this process of soldering these together. So we're going to go ahead and turn on our Milwaukee soldering iron. It takes about 90 to 120 seconds to heat up, coincidentally, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to spread them. Yeah. See that? See what I'm doing? Are you guys watching what I'm doing here? My dad used to do it. He used to teach people, and he still tries to teach people how to do stuff. Every once in a while, he'll pause and just look at you. Does that make any sense? You see what I'm doing? Is we're going to try and get it so they're all in line with each other here, okay? So I'm going to stick these two spread deals together, and I'm going to twist the wires. I'm going to twist with both thumbs, really wound up together. You don't want to be, you don't want to pulling it apart, because next thing you know, you're untangling them and redoing them all again. Next thing you know, 10 o'clock goes around, you don't even go home because the wife's so pissed, you figure you're better off going to the bar anyway. You don't even want to go down that road. Next thing you know, your taillight's out on the way home, and then you're in jail. And just making sure you guys are paying attention. So we got lots of space between the wires, everything's good, our heat shrink's on, our soldering gun's warmed up. Now some guys will get all fancy on you and they'll wrap it around here. I don't like to do that because it ends up falling off anyway, so we're going to grab this soldering iron just like a pencil. Nice thing about these Milwaukee ones, they got these interchangeable tips on them. Just put a new tip on, you buy a pack of them, and then we're just going to kind of work that solder in. It kind of, turns into liquid form so that it ends up being able to kind of get in between the wires. You don't want too thick of a bead of it because then you won't be able to get your heat shrink over very good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our boiling hot soldering iron and we're going to wipe it on our pants really super quick. Just make sure that tip stays good for a little while longer. Now what we're going to do, oh wow, this is taking me a lot longer than I expected. Wow, what a waste of time. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put our heat shrink on. We're all done. Another thing you can do if you got all kinds of time and don't care about anything is you can flip these over and solder the other side. But you know, there's certain situations where you can't even get in there, and I don't want to have my quality varying between jobs, so I just do it the same way every time, and I just friggin' forget the rest. See what I mean about having too bit thick of a bead there? There you go. Learn from some other idiot instead of wasting your own time. So I digress. This is going to have some separation between wires, so you make sure that the bare copper never touches another piece of bare copper. And it also is just going to make sure that this kind of holds together even more than just the solder. So I'm going to move this out of the way of the fan here so that this lighter will hopefully work. Yeah, there you go. And then you just light it up real nice. Make sure it's not plugged in while you're doing any of this, by the way. Sad that I got to say that anymore, but people these days, they just don't have a clue. Pretty much all done. So at this point in the process, a lot of guys would test their work and see if this works. But, you know, I'm pretty confident in my abilities here because I've done this a lot of times. You know, I just think that this thing's either going to work or it's not. And if it doesn't work, it's not going to have anything to do with my power. Most people, they know how to educate, but they don't know how to entertain. Look at me. First video and I'm doing both. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this little thing back through the flange here. Used to have a little grommet on here, but you don't need that anyway. We're just going to shove that back in there so it has a hard time coming out. We're going to try and bend this cooling mechanism back just a little bit. So we've got everything pretty much put back together here. Put these 2 screws back in here. Create impact. You're gonna grab your end of your cord here and you're gonna plug it into your 110 volt standard power outlet and you're gonna see if it works. And it looks like I've got lights here and I've got a little bit of vibrating, which indicates that the cooling mechanism might be on. I've got noise back there, but it looks like it was a success. You learned something new today. I got something done. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in another 5 years when I remember to make a video.